Dying Light is littered with bugs, has some pretty poor dialogue and an at best average story, and tone-wise, it's a bit all over the place. And yet I bloody love it. This game is so much fun. Coming from Techland, the developers of Dead Island, a series I didn't really care that much for, Techland has clearly learned from their previous attempts at the zombie apocalypse genre, and have improved exponentially. Let me start on the subject of gameplay, because Dying Light is a delight to play. It's probably the best parkour system I've ever played in a game. While you still miss a few jumps here and there, it has a really nice flow to it and is immensely enjoyable to run around exploring the area. The melee combat is tense at the beginning and exceptionally entertaining once you level up high enough. In the first few hours you will find yourself in a lot of trouble when it comes to fighting zombies. Every zombie encounter is a life-threatening situation and can provide some real challenge. But once you reach up to those high levels, the zombies literally become your playthings. To mow down and to experiment on just the number of ways you can fucking obliterate them. It truly is lovely. The switch from feeling helpless in the beginning when you come across any and all zombies to the feeling later on of being an unstoppable killing machine is so rewarding, and you will sink a lot of hours into just maiming, burning, electrifying, exploding and drop-kicking zombies with glee. And let me tell you, drop-kicking a zombie off a roof never gets old. And it's good! Leveling up your agility, combat and survival ranks naturally through running across the city, massacring zombies and completing missions gives new and fun abilities. For instance, at a certain survival rank you unlock the grappling hook, and the goddamn grappling hook is great. Grappling from roof to roof, machete in hand, clearing out zombies makes you feel like a zombie apocalypse version of Spider-Man, and just adds to the flow of racing around the city. While you're running around exploring the city, you'll find plenty of things to do, where it's one of the many side quests that have quite a bit of variety to them. Or the agility and power challenges that I found myself enjoying actually a lot more. Parkouring across the city in the fastest time or just murdering a load of zombies very quickly is simple but very enjoyable. And then there's the quarantine zones, which are an absolute blast to go through. Specific zones have been boarded off following the start of the outbreak, you know, shopping centres, hotels and parking lots, that kind of stuff. And they're all full of sweet, sweet loot. But they also happen to be infested with some pretty dangerous zombies. Also, throughout the game, you'll find some random encounters popping up on the map. Normally they're just a survivor being attacked by zombies, or being mugged by thugs, or just wanting to share a story with you. But my favourite random encounter has to be the airdrops that get delivered across the map. Scrambling to reach the drop packages for those crucial experience points sucks you into the game more as a survivor fighting for his life and any aid he can get his hands on. And you have to be quick. If you take too long to get there, either it will be already gone, or already been half raided by armed thugs and now you have a fight on your hands. And speaking of having a fight on your hands, let's talk about nighttime, which is hands down my favourite part of the game. As night falls, the real danger comes out in the shape of volatiles that start to roam around, and they are nasty. When you first encounter these monstrosities, when they see you and let out that blood-curdling scream, really all you can do is run, as multiple volatiles are on your tail now, and followed by a horde of zombies chasing after you. The relentless pursuit of the volatiles and the satisfaction of staying alive for the whole night makes for some of the most exciting and tense gameplay as you literally run for your life. But despite the horrific circumstances, I found myself wanting to adventure more out at night, rather than find safety, mainly because at night you get double the experience points. So even though it was tense and horrible, the rewards was worth the risk and generated some of the most memorable moments in the game for me. When it comes to co-op, it's just as fun with friends around, and having more friends around is always a good option, especially with Dying Light's Be the Zombie mode, where in this game mode, either a friend or a random player jumps into your game as a super powerful mega zombie that can jump around, spit deadly liquids, and kill you basically instantly by pouncing on you. The zombie also unlocks more abilities as you play, and playing it is a lot of fun, but if you are going to fight it, you will need at least more than 2 people to stand a chance. Now, even though I do really like Dying Light, it does have its fair share of issues, so let's start with the story. Although story-wise, it doesn't do anything groundbreaking. It hits all the usual beats of a zombie apocalypse story. You've got to find a cure. The evil shady corporation wants the virus for shady reasons. Humans are the real enemies. So on and, you know, so forth. There is even a weird hallucination part later on in the game, which we've seen in many games before and done much better. In fact, here's a quick list of games that have already done the hallucination thing. The fact I could go on to name even more games where this is used shows this plot point has been used to death in video games. But on the subject of this hallucination part, it combines all the bad elements from those previous titles, in which you walk slowly, it has a very confusing layout, and have to suffer through some truly tedious platforming. Thankfully, it is very short, but it still sucks a whole lot. The dialogue itself is cheesy and cliche as hell. At one point, we even have the big bad of the game shout out the protagonist's name in just futile rage, going, "Crane!" Can you even get more cliche than that? I mean, come on! Crane! And a lot of the time, the main character just came off as a bit of a dickhead. I mean, most of the time the main character would come across a survivor who would tell their story of woe and their family dying, you know, that kind of stuff. And he would often say some kind of flippant and sarcastic remark, which just felt off.
He took this one guy's leg off at the knee and had to hear time how long it took the poor bastard to bleed out. Then you've got the wounded guy out of the fight. Plus, it'll take at least 2 more people to take care of him. 3 for the price of 1. There's value in sadism, I guess, given the right circumstances.
Wow, bet you're a lot of fun at parties.
Really? Really? Like, you've just been told the bad guy has been experimenting in different horrific ways to torture not just people, but your allies, and the only thing you can think to say is,
wow, bet you're a lot of fun at parties.
This is what I'm talking about when I say the tone is just a bit strange. They're clearly going for the gritty, dark zombie apocalypse, but I've also got my guy with a flaming electric machete, decapitating zombies and then spitting off one-liners. You can't really have both because it just makes it seem a bit odd. And maybe it would have been better if they didn't really try and push the gritty realism as much, and just focused on what this game is really good at. Letting me drop-kick zombies off a roof. Ah, lovely. While the melee is a highlight of the game, rather disappointingly, the guns in the game, no matter what rarity or point in the game, all do the same damage. It's kind of frustrating to get a common pistol at level 10 that does about 120 damage, only then to get a legendary pistol at 25 and it still does 120 damage. Makes the game feel uneven. When you first get the guns, they're incredibly overpowered, but later on in the game they're quite underpowered. It makes me wonder why the guns have a rarity rating at all. Maybe once in development they were going to have more of a difference on the power of the gun depending on rarity, but decided to take it out for whatever reason. In my opinion though, it would have been better if the guns had a bit more variety to them. And speaking of variety, while there is a lot of side quests and the majority of them good, there are still the usual side missions. The fetch quests for certain items on the map, the escort missions when the AI is truly fucking stupid and dies so quickly, and the quests where it's not even clear where you have to go. These missions, as usual, aren't very fun. They are tedious, and thankfully, there are more good side missions than there are bad. It's also probably worth me knowing that the game is buggy as all hell. I played this game on PC, and multiple times I found myself going to grappling hook a wall, only to be thrown around like a ragdoll, then fly into the air and die. Zombies would often just get stuck in one of my safe areas and proceed to just meander about until I left or, you know, broke its neck. And a few times I even fell through the scenery to under the map. Also, some of the competitions you can set up in co-op would randomly decide not to let the finish point work, and at one point my friend was swimming around and he told me he suddenly started flying into the sky. Matter of fact, he was actually stuck like this. Overall though, if you can look past the bugs and the subpar story, Dying Light is very much a diamond in the rough. It has a lot of good features going for it, but is let down by some basic faults. I have personally sunk 49 hours into it, and I have had a blast doing it. If you love running for your life and drop kicking zombies, Dying Light is a game you should really check out. Buy it. Hi there, thanks for watching my review on Dying Light. If you'd like to see a more in-depth written review, you can always follow the link on screen right below that little subscribe button there if you want to see more of my crap. Speaking of more of my crap, to the left we have a review of Majora's Mask 3D that I recently did, and on the right we have my top 5 disappointing weapons in video games. And speaking of top 10s, my next video should actually be a top 10, so look forward to that. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you later.